Wembanyama is going to win Rookie of the Year, and he is going to deserve it. Chet Holmgren can really play. I like him. I respect him. I see what Oklahoma City is doing. But Wembanyama is something special. But Victor Wembanyama last night, 28-13 with 7 assists, 5 blocks. That was a statement performance. Perkins, and then we're right before, when they talk about the Rookie of the Year situation is over, Victor Wembanyama is the real deal. So is Chet Holmgren.
You won't believe what Victor Wembanyama just did on the court. This guy turned into a basketball god right before our eyes. It's like he unlocked cheat codes or something. Imagine this. Wemby's dropping 40 points, grabbing 20 rebounds, and swatting shots like he's playing against kids. The crowd went wild, and even the opposing team couldn't help but watch in awe. Let's break down how this 7'4" unicorn just changed the game forever. Picture this. A skinny French kid walks onto an NBA court. Everyone's looking at him like, who's this string bean? That was Victor Wembanyama's debut. His first few games, let's just say people were scratching their heads. Was all the hype just hot air? But then, boom, something clicked. Wemby started doing things that had everyone's jaws on the floor. We're talking about a rookie putting up numbers that shouldn't be possible. This guy was dropping 20-plus points like it was nothing, swatting shots left and right, and dishing out assists like a seasoned point guard. You know what's crazy? He's 7'4", but he moves like he's 6'2". One minute he's protecting the rim, the next he's bringing the ball up the court. That's not normal, folks. We've seen tall players before, but none of them move like Wemby. He's breaking the mold of what we thought was possible for a big man in the NBA.
Wemby is averaging 19, 10, and 10 with over 3 blocks per game. Only 3 rookies in NBA history have done it. David Robinson, Alonzo Mourning, and the one and only Diesel himself, Shaquille O'Neal. The last part that you're talking about in terms of how much they wanted. You talked about Embiid. We saw him going for the MVP last year. We see Jokic, right? We're not surprised at his greatness. We understand how phenomenal and great he is. What I walked away with loving outside of the obvious future greatness of Victor Wembanyama, I walked away with even more appreciation for Giannis.
Let's talk about his breakout game. You know what's coming, but trust me, you won't believe it when I tell you. Wemby went absolutely nuclear. He put up a stat line that had people checking their screens to make sure it wasn't a glitch. Ready for this? 38 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and 7 blocks. In one game, as a rookie. That's the kind of performance that makes other players in the league sit up and take notice. Veterans were shaking their heads, rookies were taking notes, and fans, they were losing their minds. But here's the thing. Wemby's not just about the numbers. He's changing the game in ways we can't even fully grasp yet. His impact goes beyond what shows up in the box score. So let's dive into how this alien-like rookie is reshaping basketball as we know it. Picture the most coordinated 7-footer you've ever seen. Now throw that image out the window. Wemby's not just bending the rules of basketball, he's straight up shattering them. You think you've seen it all in the NBA? Trust me, you haven't seen anything like this. Let's talk about what we usually expect from a 7-footer in the NBA. They're supposed to be big, slow giants who camp out near the basket, right? Block a few shots, grab some rebounds, maybe dunk if someone throws them a nice lob. That's the playbook for tall guys. But Wemby, he took that playbook and set it on fire. You know what's insane? This guy moves like he's 6'2", not 7 or 4. One second, he's swatting a shot at the rim. The next, he's bringing the ball up the court like a point guard. It's like watching a cheetah chase down its prey, but the cheetah is over 7 feet tall and wearing a Spurs jersey. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine this. Wemby's at the 3-point line on defense. The opposing guard thinks he's got an open shot. Wemby's got arms like Inspector Gadget, and he swats that ball into next week. But here's where it gets crazy. Instead of lumbering back on offense, Wemby grabs the ball and takes off like a rocket. He's dribbling down the court, defenders bouncing off him like ping pong balls. And then, get this, he pulls off a silky smooth Euro step and lays it in. All in about 5 seconds. That's not normal, folks. You know what's even crazier? Sports scientists are losing their minds over this guy. They're studying his movements like he's some kind of basketball alien. How can someone so tall move so fast and stay so coordinated? It's like he's breaking the laws of physics every time he steps on the court. But you want to know the scariest part? Wemby's just getting started. He's improving game by game, learning the NBA at lightning speed. It's like he's downloading basketball skills directly into his brain. One week he's figuring out how to use his length on defense. The next he's pulling up for step-back threes like he's been doing it his whole life. Wemby's not just a physical freak, though. His mind might be his deadliest weapon, but that's a whole other story, and trust me, you're going to want to hear it. Remember when I said Wemby's mind might be his deadliest weapon? Well, buckle up, because we're about to dive into the basketball supercomputer that is Victor Wembanyama's brain. This kid isn't just playing basketball, he's solving it like a complex math equation. And the results? They're absolutely mind-blowing. Now, most rookies coming into the NBA are like deer in headlights. They're trying to figure out where to stand, what plays to run, and how not to get embarrassed by the vets. But Wemby, he's out there playing 4D chess while everyone else is still learning checkers.
This young buck is coming in here trying to show me what he's got. Let me remind him who the hell I am. And when Wembanyama said, wait a minute, guess who I am? And that is what you look for from the game of basketball. Giannis don't talk like that, but he plays like that. And that's what I love. That's what we saw last night. And the fact that Wembanyama showed up the way that he did shows us what kind of attitude he has. And I'm glad you brought up Chet Holmgren. He talks it about people he knows he's going to go directly up against. And he's like, I'm coming, I'm going to bust your living you know what, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. And then sure enough, the competition comes.
You know what's insane? This guy sees the game in slow motion. He's reading defenses, making split-second decisions, and always ending up in the perfect spot. It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. One minute he's blocking a shot, the next he's throwing a no-look pass to a teammate for an easy bucket. How does he do it? Let's talk about what his coaches and teammates are saying. They're blown away. One analyst said, he sees things on the court that even veterans miss. That's crazy, right? We're talking about a rookie who's outsmarting guys who've been in the league for years. But you want to know what's even crazier? Wemby's doing all this while adjusting to a whole new country and learning English. Imagine trying to process all that NBA knowledge while also figuring out how to order a burger in a new language. That's what Wemby's dealing with, and he's making it look easy. You know what's wild? Wemby's not just a basketball player, he's a student of the game. He's always experimenting, trying new things on the court. He said it himself. I'm just experimenting, and sometimes it's not going to work. But when it works, I'm just going to keep doing it. That's the kind of mindset that turns good players into legends. And get this, Wemby's not just making himself better, he's elevating his whole team. His basketball IQ is so high that he's making everyone around him smarter. It's like he's got this basketball gravity pulling his teammates up to his level. But with all this hype, you gotta wonder, can he handle the pressure? I mean, we're talking about a kid who's being called the next big thing in the NBA. How's he dealing with all that? Imagine being 19, moving to a new country, and suddenly becoming one of the most watched athletes on the planet. Most people would freak out, but Wemby, he's got a mindset that's straight up otherworldly. You won't believe what he said about being different. Let's talk about the crazy expectations they put on this kid before he even stepped on an NBA court. People were calling him the next big thing, a once-in-a-generation talent. That's a lot of pressure for anyone, let alone a teenager who's still figuring out how to order a burger in English. But you know what's insane? Wemby's not just handling the pressure, he's thriving in it. He's out there playing like he's been in the league for years, not months. And when reporters ask him about all the hype, he just smiles and says, I'm just a human. Or am I? Can you believe that? This kid's got jokes. You want to know what's even crazier? Wemby's not just a beast on the court, he's blowing up off it too. He's already one of the top 10 most viewed players on social media, and he hasn't even finished his rookie season yet. People can't get enough of this guy. But here's the thing that really makes you wonder about this kid. In an interview, Wemby said something that'll make your head spin. He talked about facing his truths and focusing on what really matters to him. That's not normal rookie talk, folks. That's some Yoda-level wisdom right there. You know what's wild? Wemby's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk. When the pressure's on and the game's on the line, he doesn't shrink. He steps up. It's like he lives for those big moments. He's not just ready for the spotlight, he's grabbing it with both hands. So what does all this mean for the future of the NBA? Let's wrap this up and talk about how Wemby's not just changing the game, he's changing basketball as we know it. Wemby's not just changing the Spurs, he's rewriting the whole basketball playbook. This is just the beginning, folks. Think about it. In a few years, every kid with a basketball is going to be trying to move like Wemby. Imagine playgrounds full of 7-footers dribbling like guards and shooting threes. Crazy, right? You know what's wild? Wemby's making us rethink what's possible in basketball. He's not just a player, he's a game changer. In 5 years, we might not even recognize the sport. Coaches are already scratching their heads trying to figure out how to defend this guy. So keep your eyes glued to Victor Wembanyama. Every game, he's doing something we've never seen before. Alien or human, this kid's making history. And trust me, you don't want to miss a second of it.